It is Saturday, the 25th of June 2022. Today's Skidmark is going to be about the EU, the European Union. At the SPIF conference, Putin made the following statement. The EU has completely lost its political sovereignty. Its bureaucratic elites are dancing to someone else's tune, causing harm to their own population. Such a detachment from reality will inevitably lead to a surge of populism and to a change of elites. Now you can make of that what you want, but in my mind, it is the truth. You just have to listen to some of the remarks that Ursula von der Crazy makes to understand that the population of the EU is not on her mind. That woman is driving an agenda, and that agenda is not to the benefit of the people of Europe. The initial European Union idea was a good idea, and the few countries that initiated the system did it for practical purposes, to make trading easily and to make it easier for the people to travel across the boundaries of those countries. But as time went on, more and more countries were drawn into this EU dream. And slowly but surely, the cultural differences between the different populations became broader and broader and broader. And there's no way that you can tell me today that a guy that lives in Hungary has the same values as a guy that lives in England. Yeah, Britain is now out of the EU, but I wonder if they are really out. The thing is this, people in charge refuse to acknowledge the reality of cultural differences. All people on this earth is not the same. For me, a guy sitting here in South Africa, I have a different view of what I would call a safe and comfortable environment than the guy that stays in New York, or the guy that stays in Berlin, or the guy that stays in the middle of the Sahara Desert. All of these people have their own cultural and historical backgrounds, they've got their own languages, and they have got their own traditions. And what the EC is trying to imagine, because it's nothing else than imagination, is that all people are the same. If you look at what they have done during this Ukraine adventure, nothing that they have implemented was there to benefit the people of Europe. Everything was there actually to destroy the lives of Europeans. This nuclear bomb that fell on the Green Deal is very disturbing for that EC in Brussels, because they've invested billions in that Green Deal plan, and it is now crashing at a tremendous speed. And Ursula von der Crazy made a statement on Thursday when the countries in Europe started firing up the coal plants. And she said the EC has a plan for energy and there will not be a problem. They will identify deserving industries and provide them with energy. Who the hell are they to decide what is a deserving industry? That is communism. Putin has once said that the EU is a Western replication of the old USSR. And that's it. And if you listen to the EC officials and you listen to the NATO officials, more and more of the things that they state sounds more and more to me like pure communism. Now, I'm not going to get involved in a debate on whether it's communism or not. It looks a lot like communism. And actually, some of the things that they are doing and implementing has got a very strong Nazi flavor. I don't know how this is going to work out. My opinion is that the EU is going to crash spectacularly. And you just need to look at some of the things that is appearing on social media. The first thing was something I picked up yesterday. Some newspaper in Britain ran a poll among British people, and the results came back. 78% of the people that participated in the poll are seriously considering immigrating to Russia. Now, we can talk about that and make a joke of it and everything, but between Boris and Liz Truss, they are destroying the British culture, the British economy. And it seems like the Britons are just sitting with folded hands and accepting it. Viktor Orban of Hungary is in my opinion, the only adult leader in the EU. Any further sanctions on Moscow would only hurt the EU economy without significantly impacting Russia, a senior aide to Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban told Reuters on Thursday. That is the truth. And then Boris makes this statement. Johnson fears that Ukraine will be pressured to conclude a peace agreement with Russia which does not meet its interests. But what he actually means is UK interests, not Ukraine interests. And then Van der Crazy makes this statement. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen believes it's no longer possible for the EU to return to normal relations with Vladimir Putin. What bullshit is that? All they need to do is get on a plane, go to Moscow and say, sorry, we screwed up. We made a mistake. How can we fix this? And then just wait for Putin to respond. But they will not do it because in their minds, they have got this driving ambition to destroy Russia. Someone said the EU took poison and now they're waiting for Russia to die. These people are crazy. We're living in 2022. Russia warned for years about that problem in Ukraine and the West did not listen. And actually, the West did some treacherous things there. And the Russians decided this is enough. Now the West is trying to paint their actions with white paint. In the meantime, they should use a red paint. The blood of people in Ukraine that has been spilled for nothing else but an agenda of these elites in Brussels, and they are sitting there and taking directions from the USA. And then we get this message from Russia. Prices have been declining in Russia for 3 weeks in a row. From June 11 to 17, sugar on average fell by 2%, vegetables by 2.5%, and the cost of a flight in economy class by 8.7%. For the first time this year, weekly deflation was recorded in mid-May and continued since. That is in Russia, but on the other side, in the EU, everything is out of control. Energy is out of control, fuel is out of control, food is out of control. And these maniacs in the EC in Brussels just continue. And I must say, the individual leaders of the EU countries, they are also not really the sharpest knives in the drawer. German Vice-Chancellor Robert Habeck said that in order to save energy, he began to take less showers. Congratulations, Germany, that's your leadership in his statement. What an idiot! The Russian lady Maria Zakharova made this statement. Without the decision to grant Ukraine and Moldova With the decision to grant Ukraine and Moldova the status of candidate countries, the EU has confirmed that it continues to actively exploit the CIS on a geopolitical level to use it to contain Russia. They are not thinking of the negative consequences. And I'm going to say it again. The team that Putin has is the only adults at the political table of the world today. Then I picked this gem up on Telegram. The EU to provide Ukraine with 9 billion euros of financial assistance. Polish Prime Minister Raya Nowosti. My question is, where the hell does this money come from? And then the Chinese makes the following statement. NATO is a product of the Cold War and the world's biggest military alliance dominated by the US. It is a tool for the US to maintain its hegemony and influence Europe's security landscape. This is clearly against the trend of our times. NATO should have been disbanded long ago. Then we get to that other clown in the circus, Mario Draghi. EU sanctions against Russia impoverish the EU itself and enrich Russia. That is a statement he makes in Kiev. And then 5 days later in Rome, EU sanctions against Russia are very effective. These people, they should stop doing lines before they make statements like this. NATO's Stoltenberg calls on Westerners to ignore their need for food and warmth amid high prices in the name of Ukraine support. What an idiot! And this is the leader of NATO. Europeans, you are in trouble. But look at what happened in Bulgaria, in their parliament. Bulgaria removed the whole government in parliament today. The Estonia coalition government is collapsing. Italy MPs rise up against Draghi. Stop sending weapons to Zelensky. More than 70% of Italians do not want to send weapons to Ukraine. But it doesn't help the population to make tweets and posts like this. They must go and remove those elites. Otherwise, they will suffer. Then I see this tweet. Russia is a part of Europe and it always will be. The problem is not Russia. It is the EU. It has become a US colony. The sooner it develops its own security apparatus, which includes Russia, and kicks out the US, the better. Not only for Europe, but for the rest of the world. And that is a potent one. And then you see this tweet. Your weekly reminder that Russia has won the war, and we are continuing to sanction ourselves into the dark ages. Inflation out of control, markets crashing, fuel beyond expensive, food shortages, and NATO, the EU and the US plan to keep this going for years and years. That is actually the truth. It is sickening to think about it. And if you read through this social media and you actually go into the threads and you see the comments that are made there, the EU is gone. It's been hijacked by the USA, and through NATO they are engineering Europe into an attack force against Russia. For what? They are going to lose. Europe cannot exist without Russia. And that is something that the Europeans need to make peace with, accept it, and fix the relations between Europe and Russia.